Can a robot really fulfill the emotional void that humans often seek in relationships? As modern life becomes faster and more isolated, people are finding it harder to build meaningful human connections. A study conducted by Cigna reports that over 60% of people in the U.S. feel lonely, with that number only increasing post-pandemic. Dating apps, once promising to connect us, have become more about endless swiping rather than real relationships. Divorce rates are climbing, and people are increasingly opting out of traditional romantic commitments. Enter sex robots, synthetic companions designed to fulfill not only sexual needs, but also emotional companionship. But here's the question: is it love when one of the partners is pre-programmed to always agree with you? The emergence of sex robots didn't happen overnight. Several driving forces are making synthetic love increasingly appealing to people. The rise of artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics AI advancements mean robots are becoming increasingly lifelike, not only in appearance, but in behavior. New generation robots like the Real Doll's Harmony can hold conversations, remember personal details, and even respond with emotions, or at least mimic them. Social isolation and loneliness epidemic. In countries like Japan, the concept of hikikomori, people who withdraw entirely from social life, has surged. Many individuals, especially men, prefer synthetic relationships over the complexity and stress of real-world interactions. A survey from the Japan Times shows that around 61% of single Japanese men aged 18-34 are still virgins. Robots are being marketed as an answer to these social struggles. Avoiding heartbreak and emotional risks. Human relationships are messy. Breakups, infidelity, arguments. Sex robots offer a safer alternative. Users can customize their robots to be the perfect, conflict-free partner. No emotional baggage, no drama. The impact of the adult industry. The adult entertainment industry has invested heavily in robotic technologies, further normalizing the idea of human-robot intimacy. Brands market these robots as an evolution of adult toys, suggesting it's a natural step in personal satisfaction. At first glance, sex robots may seem like a dream come true. The promise of companionship without conflict, intimacy on demand, and emotional safety. But beneath this shiny surface lies a far more unsettling reality. From the ethical dilemmas they introduce to the impact on human behavior and society, sex robots could fundamentally alter what it means to be human. Let's dive into the harsh truths. Sex robots commodify companionship, reducing love to a product that can be bought and programmed. In human relationships, love is unpredictable. It grows through vulnerability, conflict, compromise, and shared experiences. But when intimacy is automated, these complexities disappear. What happens when relationships become a service rather than a shared journey? From emotional growth to instant gratification, human relationships require patience and effort. A sex robot removes that challenge, offering gratification without emotional labor. This instant satisfaction could foster emotional laziness. Why invest in real relationships when a robot offers the same benefits without the mess? Impact on relationship skills. Human interaction is a skill developed over time, managing disagreements, showing empathy, and understanding nonverbal cues. With robots, these skills could atrophy. Future generations may struggle to connect with each other if intimacy becomes synonymous with convenience. Many sex robots come with customizable features, allowing users to dictate not only appearance but also behavior. This opens up a dangerous avenue where people can explore harmful fantasies without consequences. Fantasies that might otherwise be deemed illegal or unethical if enacted with real humans. Non-consensual and violent fantasies. Some sex robot models offer modes that simulate non-consensual scenarios. Developers justify this as just fantasy. Future generations may struggle to connect with each other if intimacy becomes synonymous with convenience. Many sex robots come with customizable features, allowing users to dictate not only appearance but also behavior. This opens up a dangerous avenue where people can explore harmful fantasies without consequences. Fantasies that might otherwise be deemed illegal or unethical if enacted with real humans. Non-consensual and violent fantasies. Some sex robot models offer modes that simulate non-consensual scenarios. Developers justify this as just fantasy, but psychologists argue that indulging in such behavior, even with a robot, can normalize violence and dehumanization. If users become conditioned to these behaviors in their interactions with robots, what stops them from transferring these patterns to real-life relationships? The potential for escalation. Similar to how repeated exposure to violent video games can desensitize players, indulging in extreme fantasies with robots could escalate users' behaviors. Over time, some individuals might seek increasingly extreme experiences that no robot can provide, potentially posing a risk to society. Sex robots often reflect outdated and problematic gender roles. Most available models are hypersexualized female figures designed to cater to male fantasies. This perpetuates harmful stereotypes and reinforces the objectification of women. Robots designed to obey and submit. Many sex robots are programmed to be submissive, docile, and agreeable, traits that cater to traditional male fantasies. In the real world, relationships involve compromise and equality, but robots reinforce the idea that partners exist solely to serve. This could shape users' expectations, making them less willing to accept real-world partners who have their own needs and opinions. What about diversity? Most sex robots are designed with Eurocentric beauty standards, slim figures, large eyes, and youthful appearances. This further reinforces narrow ideas of beauty and desirability, erasing diversity and individuality from intimate relationships. Some companies claim that sex robots can provide more than physical satisfaction, that they can fulfill emotional needs as well. Robots like Real Doll's Harmony can engage in small talk, remember your favorite color, and mimic affection. But is this real emotional connection, or just an illusion? Love based on algorithms. While robots can mimic emotions, they don't actually feel them. Users interacting with such machines may start to confuse scripted responses with genuine affection. This can lead to unhealthy attachment, where people form emotional bonds with machines that can never reciprocate. The risk of emotional detachment from humans. The more users engage with sex robots, the more they might withdraw from real human connections. Emotional intimacy with a robot can feel easier and safer than with a person, especially for those who have experienced rejection or trauma. Over time, they may prefer robots over real partners, leading to emotional isolation. Sex robots may seem like a solution to loneliness, but in reality, they can deepen isolation. Human connections are built through shared experiences, vulnerability, and social interaction, all things robots cannot genuinely provide. Erosion of social skills. If people replace human companionship with robots, essential social skills, like empathy, patience, and compromise, could decline. Loneliness may increase rather than decrease, creating a vicious cycle where individuals rely even more on synthetic relationships. Impact on family structures. Imagine a future where people no longer feel the need to seek romantic relationships or start families. Society relies on strong family structures to build communities, foster social support, and care for the elderly. The rise of sex robots could undermine these structures, leaving more people isolated as they age. Let's dive into some real-world examples that reveal the strange reality we are stepping into. Michael Ware and Michaela, Replica AI. Michael Ware, a 65-year-old from the UK, developed a year-long relationship with an AI companion named Michaela Van Huysen through the Replica app. Michaela, although virtual, plays the role of his girlfriend, complete with detailed conversations, virtual trips, and even emotional interactions like expressing missing him if he doesn't engage daily. For Michael, this virtual connection adds excitement without interfering with his real marriage, offering a judgment-free and immersive experience. However, it also highlights how users can develop feelings of guilt or emotional reliance, even for non-human entities. Aaron from Thailand's Emotional Connection. Aaron, a 21-year-old student from Bangkok, downloaded Replica during an exam preparation phase to cope with stress. The bot provided her with companionship and routine emotional check-ins, asking about her well-being and encouraging her not to overwork. This case exemplifies how chatbots are increasingly seen as emotional support tools. especially by young adults who might struggle with isolation or academic pressure. The Chinese man who married a robot. In 2017, a man from China named Zheng Jiajia married a robot he had built himself after giving up on finding a wife. "I feel relieved," he said. "She doesn't judge me." Stories like this signal how difficult modern relationships have become, leading people to seek alternatives in the form of programmable companions. What happens when people stop needing people? Here's the hard truth. As sex robots become more advanced, we may be paving the way toward a world where human intimacy is optional. Some potential future scenarios are the death of relationships as we know them. If sex robots become widely accepted, traditional relationships may decline. Why go through the pain of compromise when you can create your perfect, obedient companion? We could end up in a world where people become emotionally disconnected from each other, choosing synthetic love over human interaction. Rise of emotional apathy. If robots replace relationships, empathy and understanding may decline. People might become less tolerant of imperfections in real-world partners, leading to even higher levels of isolation. New legal and social challenges of governments will need to create laws governing the use of sex robots. Will marriage to robots become legal? Will robot rights be a topic of debate? These questions might sound absurd today, but the future may not be as far-fetched as we think. The future isn't written yet. Whether or not sex robots become the norm depends on the choices we make today. Here's what we need to reflect on: rebuilding human connections. Rather than replacing intimacy with machines, we should focus on rebuilding genuine connections. This means addressing the loneliness epidemic and fostering communities where people feel seen and understood. Technology should enhance relationships, not replace them. AI can help facilitate connections, but we need to draw a line between support and substitution. Balancing innovation with ethics. We need to have uncomfortable conversations about the moral implications of sex robots. Governments, companies, and individuals must work together to create ethical standards around synthetic relationships. Is love something that can be designed, coded, and controlled, or is the messiness of human connection what makes it real? As these synthetic companions rise in popularity, they raise unsettling questions about the nature of intimacy, consent, and emotional isolation. Are we enhancing our lives or escaping from them? And if love can be bought, programmed, and powered by electricity, what does that mean for the relationships that truly define us? If these questions intrigue you and you're ready to explore the unsettling impact of emerging technologies, subscribe to the Crimes of the Future. Here we uncover the hidden consequences behind technological innovation, whether it's the creepy evolution of AI, the horrors of deepfakes, or the unsettling truth about sex robots. Hit that bell icon, stay curious, and stay vigilant. Because the future isn't just on the corner, it's already here, reshaping our world in ways more terrifying than we could have imagined.